Everyone, welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. I'm Mel, and today I am doing a new moon solar eclipse reading for my earth signs. That's for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So let's get into it. So what can my earth signs expect with this new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer on June 21st, 2020? New moon solar eclipse. Ooh, perfect. We've got 5 of Wands, Judgment, and 4 of Wands. All right, this is interesting. So there could be the resurrection of a conflict that you have at home or in some sort of domestic situation. So there could be some sort of recurring conflict that you've been experiencing in a domestic situation. And it's like, it's this vicious cycle, but right now it's like, it's coming back up. It's definitely coming back up for you guys. But it's coming back up in a way to spark something new. What I mean by that is, whatever this recurring problem is, this time around, it's coming back up so that you can it can ignite the fire for something new. And this will be the perfect time to just discuss eclipses in general and this eclipse that we're going to be having on June 21st. So eclipses are the universe's way of bringing change into our lives. A lot of times we know what changes need to occur. We know that we have to make changes, but we either don't make them or we don't know how to make them. So Spirit, the universe, usually does it on our behalf. And eclipses are very concentrated energy, and they sort of are the cleanup crew when it comes to certain areas of our lives. So for instance, you may have a relationship that's not working out. During the eclipse, you may get into a huge blowout argument that causes you to break up. And while you may think, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing in the world that we're breaking up, the breakup is actually for your benefit so that you can get into a relationship that actually is aligned with you or where you're supposed to be going. Or it could just be because you need to be single right now in order to fulfill something within your life that you couldn't do when you were with somebody. And this is the energy that I'm getting for you guys. Like, there's a recurring problem that keeps rearing its head, and the eclipse is going to make this problem come back up to the surface in order for something new to be initiated in your life. This eclipse is a solar eclipse. It's a new moon solar eclipse. And a new moon eclipse is when the moon and the sun are conjunct. They're either right on top of each other, they're occupying the same space, or they're very, very close to one another. But on June 21st, they're going to be right on top of each other. That's why there's a part of the sun that's going to be invisible because it's blocked by the moon. Now, the new moon phase of the moon is all about newness. It's all about setting new intentions for things that you want to manifest in your life. The example I always use is of a seed. Let's say that you want to grow an apple tree and you have the seeds in order, to grow this apple tree. The new moon of the phase is like you planting those seeds. During the new moon phase of the moon is invisible. You can't see it. If you look in the sky at that time, you can't see anything because the moon is not visible. And that's sort of how your intentions need to be. This is not the time to say, I want to do this and I want to do that. It's more about being private. And it's more about taking this energy, taking this intention and planting it so that it can manifest and grow into the fruit that you want it to bear. So at this time, you're trying to manifest something new. And what the eclipse is going to do is the eclipse is going to take out anything in your way with respect to that intention that may block that intention from coming to fruition. Another planting example. If you are getting ready to plant new seeds, you need to first make room for those seeds in the ground. If there are weeds growing there, you need to remove those weeds. If you have soil that isn't quite ready to receive that seed, you need to prepare the soil. If you have remnants of previous harvests in that area, you need to remove those as well so that you have clean, receptive soil in order to plant your seeds and intentions. So again, what's going to happen with this eclipse that we're experiencing on June 21st? It's a new moon solar eclipse. What's going to happen is that there may be things eclipsed out of your life so that you now have the room for new things. So my earth signs, as I was saying before, there's a recurring problem that you've been having. Perhaps with someone at home. It could be a parent, it could be a child, but I'm getting your domestic life. There's been a conflict with respect to your domestic life, and it's recurring, but it's coming up again. It's being resurrected again. But this time it's to put an end to it and to spark something new, for something new to come to fruition. So let's look at this further and see what newness is meant to come about. Let me get a card for earth signs for this new moon solar eclipse. It says mending, and 5 and 2 is 7. So there's a particular relationship that you have, and I'm not getting that this is a romantic relationship. If I haven't said it before, this new moon solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is all about your home base. It's about your home base, it's about your home, it's about your domestic life. Now that might not be exactly where this eclipse is occurring. In order to know that, you need to take a look at your natal astrology chart to see exactly where this eclipse is happening. But there's something in your domestic life, a relationship, perhaps with someone you live with, perhaps a child, could be a spouse or a lover, whoever you cohabitate with. There's a conflict that's coming up right now in order to be mended for good. In order to be mended for good. Let's look at this further. High honor. I'm getting the sense that this is a relationship with a parent. A relationship with a parent needs to be mended at this time. Or someone that you hold in high regard. Doesn't necessarily need to be a parent. Could be a grandparent. Could be an aunt or uncle. But someone that you hold in high regard, that relationship needs to be mended. I'm going to keep this out. So now that we know what is being affected, what the spirit wants you to know about this relationship or about this situation, what does spirit want you to know? Okay. We've got the 2 of Cups. We've got the Page of Cups. And we have the 8 of Wands. Spirit wants you to know, okay. And we've got at the bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Spirit wants you to know that you and this person can see eye to eye. Again, this could be a parent, a grandparent, an aunt or an uncle. It could even be a spouse, someone you cohabitate with, or someone who's very close to you that you consider to be family. You can have a new relationship where you guys see eye to eye. And this 8 of Wands energy is just symbolic of the eclipse. The eclipse is going to make this shit happen so fast. It's going to make it happen so fast. You won't even be able. It's like in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden you guys can be on the same page. It's time. There's a karmic cycle that's been going on with with you and this other person, or it could be you and, you know, people that you live with or who are your family. It's a karmic cycle that has ended. And you can now mend this relationship and see eye to eye with this person and have a new relationship that's like fair and that feels good. Let's take a look further into this. Ooh, okay. I got the card Orphaned. And the energy I'm feeling right now is very heavy. Very heavy. This part of the reading is not going to resonate with anyone, with everyone. It might resonate with some of you. But the issue that's recurring is you being adopted or you being abandoned. I really see this applying to someone who is finally having that conversation with the parent that gave them up for adoption. The time has come for you to finally have that conversation and to mend that relationship, not only with your biological parent or parents, but with the parents that took you in. It's time now. It's time now. I wish I could describe how I'm feeling right now. It's this feeling of heaviness, but it's this feeling of hope also. So again, this particular part of the message might not resonate with everyone. I'm sure it's not going to resonate with everyone. But for someone out there, it's time to mend the relationship with your biological parents who gave you up for adoption, and for the parents that took you in. It's like all of you are getting this burst of healing energy. For others of you, it just may be a situation where you feel like you've been abandoned. Maybe the person that you live with, maybe your spouse or your boyfriend or whoever, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, the person that you cohabitate with has made you feel abandoned. Maybe they physically abandoned you. Maybe they're never home. Whatever it is, someone in the relationship has been feeling abandoned. And it's time now to bring that feeling, those emotions to the other party or parties in order for them to be mended. This is real powerful stuff right here. Toil and labor. Toil and labor. So there's been a lot of Spirit doesn't want you to approach this like a chore. Don't approach this like, I don't want to do this, and it's like it's menial work. This is really important. It's very important, and Spirit doesn't want you to take this lightly. The possibility for profound healing is here for you. Whether you were adopted, whether you were abandoned, whether your emotional needs haven't been met, you have the possibility to have a relationship now that's equal, where not only you see eye to eye, but look at how the rainbow is filling both cups. Both cups are being fulfilled. But don't approach this like it's a chore or like, this is like light work, because it's not. It's really important. It's really important. It's really important. I want to clarify this Five of Wands because I want to look more into this conflict. We already know it has to do with abandonment, but is there anything else that it has to do with? It also has to do with deception. Seven of Swords. There's been deception. Wow. This message is like really, I feel this heaviness on my chest. Someone hasn't been upfront with you might not know, you might have been deceived when it comes to who your biological parents are or who your adoptive parents are. And this is going to come out in this eclipse. Again, that message is for someone. It's not for everybody. But you've been deceived with respect to your whole adoption situation. But again, Spirit really wants you to know that this is all coming up to be finally mended. You might have had this issue recurring a lot, and it's been this back and forth. It's been fighting about it, then either forgetting about it or not talking to someone or just abandoning the whole situation. But the reason it's coming up now, and it's not gonna happen on the day of the eclipse. This is something that's gonna happen. It's gonna take months to play out. The reason this is coming out now is so that you can actually mend this relationship once and for all and be emotionally fulfilled and start a new relationship where y'all see eye to eye. And this can happen very quickly. I mean, you might have been going in this vicious cycle for years, and in a matter of months, you're going to be able to come to a place where everyone is emotionally fulfilled and these fractured relationships have been mended. Yeah, this is some real shit right here. All right. So now that we know what's going on, and now that we know, and now that Spirit has told us what we need to know about what's going on, what action steps need to be taken at this time, if any? Or what do we do now that we know this information? We have the King of Cups. We have the Five of Cups. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So immediately what I'm getting is you have to control your emotions. And I'm not saying deny them. I'm saying that you need to be open, you need to be receptive, and you need to approach this from an emotionally mature place. And not just you, everyone in this situation. Again, whether this has to do with an adoption or whether this just has to do with feeling abandoned, not having your needs met in a domestic situation, whether that be with your spouse, your family. You need to approach this from an emotionally mature position. And you need to be receptive and open to not only feeling your emotions and acknowledging them, but doing the same for the others in the relationship. Because although there was deception here, I don't think it's malicious. I think it's just either for someone's protection. Someone may not thought that you were mature enough to handle the information that they were giving you. Or someone is just, in the case of a spouse that you live with or a significant other that you live with, I feel like this person just wasn't aware that your needs weren't being met. I think there was a lack of communication on both parts. Yeah, definitely a lack of communication. I don't see any communication here. And the only communication I do see is like deceptive. And when I say deceptive, I don't necessarily mean that this person's been lying to you. They could have been lying to themselves, or it's just information that's just communication that's not all there. There's certain things that needed to be said that weren't said. That's where I feel like this deception is coming from. But the action step that you need to take, you need to be emotionally mature. And whatever regrets you've been feeling, you need to use that as a tool to mend this situation. What I mean by that is don't get consumed in what happened in the past. Because like I said, the whole point and the whole theme of this reading is that there is a repair that can happen here where both of you or everyone sees eye to eye. And things are reciprocated. You give, you get. The other person gives, the other person gets. It's this relationship that's balanced. But you have to, Spirit wants you to know that the possibility of that is here. This is not a relationship that you should throw away. Obviously, if it's your parents or your family, the family is forever, right? But even if it's a spouse or significant other, Spirit is not telling you to throw this relationship away just because there's been a lack of communication and you haven't been seeing eye to eye. Spirit wants you to know it can be mended. It can be mended, and you need to remember that. Even though you may feel slighted, even though you may feel hurt, even though you may feel that all has been lost. Because again, you've been in this vicious cycle with this person or with these people for quite some time. And again, the reason why this is all coming up is to finally mend this situation and get it on the right track. So even though you feel despair, regrets, you just feel bad about the situation, remember, it's fixable. And you should fix it. All parties involved should fix it and work on it. Because there's good stuff here. Look at this. There's no place like home. Again, this is not a relationship, or this is not a situation to throw out. It's not a situation to throw out. It's a situation to work on. And even though things are changing, let me take that back. Not even though things are changing. Things are changing for the better. Look at the light that's coming out of this house. Like, it's illumined. What needs to be worked on is coming up to the surface so it can be worked on so you can have a happy home. And that's what's important. That's what Spirit wants you to know. But you got to be emotionally mature. Yeah, this is with the main female. There's definitely a female involved here that is centered around all of this. There's definitely a female at the crux of this issue again. And this is someone in high honor. So it's like a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, the matriarch of your family. Again, for a certain amount of you, this is going to apply to someone that you cohabitate with. It could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. But for the majority of you, I think this is family. This feels like family. And look, Spirit wants you to know that everything that you desire can be had with this relationship when it comes to emotional fulfillment. I'm pretty sure that you've wanted this relationship to work out. You've wanted to feel emotionally secure. You've wanted to have a good relationship with this main female or whoever you cohabitate with. You've wanted to have that, but you haven't had it. The eclipse is bringing up this issue one more time because now it's time to fix things. It's definitely time to fix things, which is good. This is a very good message. And again, don't forget that although there's sadness here, although there is despair, regret, remember that love is here for you. You may not see it, but love is here for you. And this relationship is definitely fixable. Let's get one last message from Spirit. This is beautiful. Higher power. Let Spirit help you. Well, Spirit is already helping you, whether you want it or not. Whether you want it or not, Spirit is already helping you. But there is a higher power that is orchestrating this. And the end result is beautiful. Trust me, even though you have to go through it emotionally, the end result is beautiful. And I want you guys to remember that. So that concludes this reading for Earth signs. I hope that at least one of you were able to get a message from this, a message that was helpful to you. If you liked this reading, don't forget to smash the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share with anyone who you feel needs to hear this message. And if you're looking to book a personal reading, my info is in the description box below, so check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.